All right, folks, let's get into it. Episode 2, Season 1, The Adventures, or My Adventures with Superman. This is, of course, on the Max app, and I am watching on my Apple iPad Pro 11-inch 10th generation. Let's get this thing going. Let's see here. Sit back and relax and press play. Of course, I'm sporting my colors here. Gotta let them know these colors don't run, and truth, justice, and the American way. Let's see here. WB animation. There we go. Speechless. Sky full of pink and blue clouds. Superman flies around two letters, DC. During the day, Jonathan and Mark. As we went over in the previous video, I'm using audio description until otherwise noted in the comments that it's not as enjoyable, but I think it's actually pretty fun to give a unique perspective on how visually impaired people enjoy, video content. The answers to everything you want to know. This, of course, is MANDOPHONIX Presents, and we're doing My Adventures with Superman, Season 1. Crisscrossed with lines forming concentric triangles. He steps onto it. The etched lines beneath his feet glow teal, then spread outward. Well, I'll tell you what, I did enjoy the first episode. Very good setup, a nice little quick kind of abridged version of the origin story for Clark. A lot of fun. I got my scarf on, which is like my cape. It's my USA scarf. It's my my own version of having a like something that was wrapped around me when I was found in my space pod. Oh, cool. So there's another flashback. Looks like I got Paul Kent there. Good old Paul. Reminds me of a joke about a dog walks in missing one of its legs. And the bartender said, "What happened to you?" And he goes, "They done shot my paw." It's pretty abusive when you think about it, but I think it's supposed to be a word play or a pun. Okay, so it's some foreboding sense of the understanding of the death of Krypton, or I really do like this series. I think that there's a lot of potential here.
This was scary. Jonathan, he's right. We don't know what this is. Who sent it?
Let's see, get this to recline a little bit. So I have this lazy boy style executive chair. It's really comfortable for this watching. And yes, who he is a lot. Yay, yay. Ah, so this is okay. So there you go. Title: The Adventures of a Normal Man, Part 2. Good to know. I was curious about that. I hadn't checked on it. Let's see. Adjust this just like that. There we go. I think that's a little better. Man, this Lois is fun. I think it's a fun take. You know what I mean? There's something about it that makes it feel like comic strip style approach, maybe, or something like that. I also like the Fleischer, the Fleischer verse. Everything's a gosh darn verse nowadays. But no, the Fleischer verse is the was it the 1940s or 50s rendition of animated Superman, has reminiscence of that, and it's kind of portrayal of innocence and naivete in some of the characters. I like this version of Jimmy too. I'm a sucker for a good Jimmy Olsen story. I often talk about how it's one of the keys to a compelling Superman story is having stakes for Superman that actually make put him at risk and stuff like that. Well, the other thing is like having compelling stories for his co-stars and his casting characters. Like and Jimmy Olsen's a big part of that. Let's see, I gotta adjust this real quick. Oop.
Harry doesn't believe us, but what if that without him?
There we go.
A man flew down from the sky and risked his life to save us.
Whoop whoop be doop.
He needed help. Don't you want to know who that person is?
Clark considers Lois, then eyes a blurry photo of himself on the board.
By the way, I should have mentioned this in the first one. Part of the review aspect of the show. I think the first episode was pretty good. Didn't leave a whole lot to be desired, but wasn't perfect either. The audio description is actually pretty good. Sometimes it could be a little unbearable. They don't have a rhythm to it, or they don't know how to interject, or they talk too softly, or uh, not inaudibly, but they don't enunciate. I guess is what I'm trying to say. But at any rate, this is a pretty good one.
I don't know who you are, but I'm sick of these goons and that flying freak of yours following me around. So let's talk. City Beast.
What Leslie is this supposed to be? I'm a little. I mean, I know that she was in the first episode, but anyway, at any rate.
She drops the earpiece. Now, in the tense spot, Martha uses the kitchen sink. She turns the water on and opens the back door.
Hey, Mom.
Lord, perfect timing. I'm making pie, and your paw is just bragging about leftovers.
Oh, Paul.
It won't be a problem with you
I
home.
love it.
Why are you home? Did something happen? Are you okay?
I'm fine, but I.
It's August too, so it's my Paul month myself. Like my dad was born, married, and
Look, they don't know who's
and passed in all in August. It's kind of wild.
There's this girl, Lois, and she's amazing.
All in the same month. No,
But now
I'm just kidding.
she's calling him Superman, and she wants to know more about him, and I want to know more about him.
Slow down.
I need to know who I am.
I need to go back to the ship.
Ooh, soups. You're gonna get Jor-El all up in your grill. Jor-El. Jor-El.
Don't argue with your boss, Jimmy.
Boss, excuse me. Me as in you and me are both interns. We're equals.
Raise your hand if you've been at the Daily Planet for longer than Jimmy has. Oh, look. Therefore, I have seniority, making me your boss. Even Clark's
Oh man,
I mean, he's sick, so he's
that was Lois. Lame.
you like him.
No.
I think this is an interesting take that the Lois Lane in this Lois Lane is actually interested in Clark as the first thing, as opposed to standard Lois is usually like Superman first. That's an interesting take.
Let's get back to work.
Aww,
Off the fine.
she's crushing on Clark.
We don't need to interview people. I have photos of both the skin and stole. In the boat, we'll find her. I know anything that washes up in Metropolis Bay ends up here at the salvage docks.
Gotta salvage those docks, baby. Oh, you gotta salvage those docks.
At the farm, Martha and Jonathan watch Clark dig in the dirt.
I don't like this, John.
Man.
Like about a boy digging up his traveling spaceship. Most natural thing in the world.
Pop your collar. Pop your cape. Oh, you better watch out, Paul.
Bigger than it used to be.
In a wide, deep hole, Clark stands on top of the smooth, dark surface.
Rue.
Mhm.
This thing tries to change you or hurt you or.
I don't know what will happen, but I need to find out who I
I'll
am.
tell you, they like the voice cast too. Nobody stands out yet as I guess the only one that stood out so far is Perry, because I like making fun of him. Lois, whatever do you think you're doing with that Superman? Superman sounds like an awful lot like an Ubermensch.
In darkness, a glowing bolt of electricity strikes the ground. Then Clark appears. A bright light flashes, then illuminates a white space filled with floating.
Yeah, the parody sounds ridiculous. This one. Haven't got any of him this episode, I don't think yet.
He turns and finds the long-haired man.
Are you really stunning?
There we are.
At the salvage docks,
All right, well,
Salvage them docks, gotta salvage them docks, gotta salvage them docks.
Yes, that's the spirit, Jimmy. Support your boss.
No,
Wow.
I found the boat. Superman, here
She's
we go.
mistaking being a boss with being bossy.
Or not.
Hold that thought.
a set of tire tracks lead into a drainage tunnel.
She was here. I don't know how she blasted this cradle.
Salvage them drains, girl.
Giant killer robot.
You gotta drainage themselves, girl.
Only thing she stole.
Footprints.
Look, you're right. She left her bolt.
There's something Scoob and the gang about this episode.
Tracks.
Maybe it was in the first episode, but I didn't notice it as much.
Lois and Jimmy are on the trail. Smile for Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you said that's a Clark.
Sure it is, partner.
As your boss, I need you to stop. Let me approve the pictures first.
She runs after him. On the ceiling, a light flashes on a wired device. Meanwhile,
Oh yeah, so I had mentioned in the previous video as well that Jonathan Kent Superman had concluded recently. The first arc, that is, involving the Injustice universe. I like that approach because, you know, I was a big fan of Injustice when it was running, when they were making games, that is to say. And then the comic book versions were pretty great, but kind of went on a little. Like, I get what it was doing because it was like kind of expanding and expanding. I think that DC did a little better job of that. But you know, that's just one fella's opinion. But I hope that people who like are comic book fans end up coming across this because yeah, I do love DC comic books probably more than Marvel, but I love it all really. I've been really appreciating, like I said, more Superman content. So
a bright light shines from the
excited
chest,
for
and a symbol shaped like an S
a few of these other watch-alongs I'm gonna be doing. I needed to do I haven't watched The Flash yet, and people have told me I'm quite foolish for that. So I'm gonna write that correct that pretty soon here.
Above ground, Martha stands beside the spaceship. The surface opens, and she shields her eyes from the bright light that spills forth. Prisms and circles.
But you know, the first couple of months of this summer, I was actually pretty hectic, or it was pretty hectic for me. And so, like, now that I have some time to actually get into this stuff and catch up and, you know, create some content for you, all you nice people out there, in the YouTubes. But no, the time to be able to catch up on some shows, and I'm excited for Harley Quinn season 4, and Venture Brothers came out with a special, and a bunch of fun stuff. So there's a whole lot of stuff to watch along and review.
My shorts. Come with me.
In the dark drainage tunnel, Jimmy and Lois use flashlights to illuminate the trail of footprints.
Oh, man.
Jimmy looks down a side tunnel and spots multiple wired devices with flashing red lights. Lois turns back to the main tunnel and spots dozens of more devices.
Yeah, Jimmy gets it, man. I swear, like, it's really funny. The fact that he's into conspiracy theories and all that, but also, like, they're gonna start messing him up. You know what I mean? Mutating him or blowing him up or.
Let's skip to the only part I care about. I have something you want. You have something I want. Let's trade.
What do you want?
I want off your weird
The Nails a really good Jimmy Olsen story, and I don't know if most people would consider it as such, but the fact that he plays such a pivotal role really makes me feel as such.
Then I'd say
But
it's a good thing it's all over the city, and I'm ready to blow this place sky high.
She holds up a detonator.
aww.
I lifted 10 containers of your tech with the robots.
Behind them, Jimmy and Lois climb out of a manhole.
Oh, one of my favorite names of all time is my dad told me about some neighbors he had out in Watsonville, and they were Appalachian born, let's say, and they had their family came over during the Dust Bowl or whatever to California, and their names were Billy and Shalois Grunion. And Shalois, I've never heard that name ever before in my life. Before that, and never again. But Shalois Grunion is one of my favorite fictional names, let's say. My dad for sure probably made it up, but Shalois. It sounds like a hill folk name, but it also sounds like it could be like a very southern, like I don't know, like old timey name.
Your phone. He answers a call from Jimmy.
Who has 8-bit ringtones and like that style nowadays?
I have to go. Love you guys.
Lo-fi,
Then
lo-fi.
soars into the
Oh.
sky with lightning speed. In Metropolis, Leslie approaches Jimmy and conjures a toy.
Lightning speed? Should I say Shazam? I think that's going to be, unfortunately, one of the catchphrases for me in the show because I can't help it wanting to say it every time Superman does something cool. And it's just ironic because it's just a fun catchphrase in general. I don't think it has anything to do with confusion, but it's more like it makes it sound like I'm confused because Superman does something cool and I go, oh, Shazam!
As Leslie lifts a box truck and throws it at them, they hold each other and brace for impact, but it doesn't fall. They look up and find Superman holding the truck above them. He gives them a warm smile.
Oh,
Jimmy and Lois gate. Superman sets the vehicle.
man, that's one of the worst things they say in this thing. I don't know if you noticed, but the audio description, when people are gawking at something, they don't say gawking, they say gape. And it's a suggestive word, let's say, to say the least. I don't know how that's the word of choice, but it's often the descriptive term du jour for this sort of a description.
And he dodges. Then a large truck strikes him and crushes him into the pavement.
Dang.
Leslie eyes the open manhole as Superman tosses the truck off him.
Go on now, boy. Get you some.
Leslie shoots a thick bolt of energy towards the sewer. Superman flies in front of it and absorbs the current. He falls to his knees. Then she approaches. Nearby, the white-haired man sparks the taser on his baton.
Oh man, I want a Sparky baton. That's cool. I would love to have like the Daredevil batons, just like the extendos, and then they tap the ends together and they go shoot lightning, and then you just throw one at a dude's kneecap, and then the other one used to bash somebody, and then you choke somebody out, the third person out with it. I love when Daredevil throws batons. It's one of my favorite favorite action sequences.
Superman spots the crystal on her back. He flies up and enters.
Oh, so what? Yeah, so I think the implication is that these crystals are Kryptonian in nature, but I'll probably talk about that more later. But I was thinking about that the end of the last episode. I just didn't really talk about it.
Grabs forcefully onto his face.
I'm gonna grab you forcefully. She's so fine, you gotta grab her kind of forcefully. Nah,
In a vision, long spaceships release a barrage of red lasers. A return
man.
blows one up. Now a portal opens in the sky.
Oh, that's cool.
Back in the present, Superman removes the crystal from Leslie's back and crushes it. The vehicles plummet and the sphere disintegrates.
Well,
Leslie begins to fall. Then Superman.
yeah, something's definitely up with these crystals.
Now he rests her
Crizzles.
set of steps, then flies over to Lois and Jimmy. Are you okay?
Now, Superman.
Go on now, Soups.
Man turns and his eyes go wide as he takes in.
Go on, boy, get.
His expression hardens.
The story is pretty intriguing.
In a blur of red, blue, and
I don't find it
then sets them down on a nearby street. He flies up and writes the
I don't find it infectious, but I find it adequate
Jimmy snaps
or proficient.
later. He stands beside Lois as she sets
Definitely gets the Superman-y superhero theme kind of thing going.
Jimmy receives Lois's follower notification.
We did it.
What are you doing, Lois?
I'll only accept this if you call Clark.
Oh, dang it! I thought it was gonna be Perry and then with Jimmy.
Lois,
Jimmy O, all up in the beeswax. Aren't you on your own business, Jimmy?
Start telling me. I don't care. Leave. Go. Now.
Go on now.
Superman appears outside of his apartment window. He opens it and flies inside.
Superman. Superman. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Oh man, this is wacky. Lois is shaboinging. Shaboing, boing, boing. Man, Perry's like, stop the presses. I'm like an old ghost.
Well, I knew you'd make it happen.
You just want it on the byline.
No, it's the truth.
Ah,
There's never any doubt in my mind that
yeah, girl, I want in on your byline. I want in on that byline.
and driven
Right
and
between your thighs
and
line.
funny and
Right where your
smart.
thighs lie.
Oh, I stand by it.
They lean closer. Jimmy
Ooh,
Come on here. You have to see this.
Jimmy, man.
It's copy of tomorrow's paper.
He a real blocker, buddy.
Superman is real. We made the front page.
Jimmy Olds.
Read the byline.
Uh-oh.
By Cat Ranch, Ron Troop, and Steve Lombard. What?
elsewhere. Leslie wakes up in a small cell, strapped to an examination table.
Ooh. What you talking about, Willis?
Now you're going to
Huh.
trust everything.
Leslo Bueno. Buenos
You wasted
noches.
your time on them. Your tech was carted away by every low-level criminal in Metropolis.
Leslie Willis.
Look at the back. Nemesis Omega. 0 day.
Oh man, we gonna get him out of exposition here, boy. Oh, hey, that's Jason Sudeikis possibly. Maybe
Shocks her again.
Chris Parnell, but one of them fellas.
No idea, okay? I'm not lying.
The flying man. Tell us what you know.
He's not with you? Who are you people?
Oh, that's easy, Willis.
What you talking about, Willis?
Oh, tell us everything you know about Superman.
Cut to black.
Oh man,
2023. Warner Brothers Entertainment.
fade to black, yo. You know how it go. That's another one in the record books. So catch us next time for episode 3 of season 1 of My Adventures with Superman. This has been MANDOPHONIX Presents, and I look forward to presenting you many more watch-alongs and reviews.